Hello everyone. Welcome to the second edition for Pride Month of Humans of VIT, which is a part of our newsletter, The Weekly Edge, where we interview students from VIT Vail. Today we have with us Samiksha Agarwal. She's a third-year biotech student studying in VIT Vail. Hello, Samiksha.
Hi.
Yeah. So the topic for today that we have is education and awareness around the Pride movement. So Samiksha, today I have three questions for you today. Let's go ahead with the first one. So the LGBTQA plus community has grown so much, as we know, and it's really nice to see people coming out and actually be comfortable with who they are. So as the community grows, how important do you think education about the community is important in schools and colleges? And how do you think this awareness can actually transform into something better for the community?
Okay. So great question. I want to say obviously that education is very, very important about the LGBTQ plus community because personally speaking, from my own experience back at school, we really didn't have anyone to guide us except for our parents and for our teachers and for the company that we had around us, right?
Yeah.
So we sort of, and because homophobia and transphobia and even misogyny, as a matter of fact, all of these things happen to be very internalized. So we just grew up thinking that it was okay for us to joke about gay people and joke about, transgender people and all of these things. And I've said a lot of problematic things that I regret like every day. Like it keeps me up at night. So
Yeah.
I feel like because of that, it's really, really important to talk to kids about this from a young age itself when they're very impressionable so that, they can start unlearning at the age of, say, 6 or 7, as opposed to me who had to start unlearning at the age of like 16 and 17.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely really, really important. But that being said, it has to be a process that's very well monitored, in the sense that, if you're looking at education at the school level, you need your teachers to have some level of sensitivity training. Like you can't have a teacher who has problematic views talking to kids about the LGBTQ plus community. You can't have someone who openly opposes the community but then still goes ahead and tries to educate other people about it. Like that's just obviously that's not okay. And another thing that has to be that can be done actually in the like in the shorter term is sort of bringing down the whole normalization of heteronormativity. I feel like just the other day I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw this picture that this girl had taken of one of her textbooks, and all of the pronouns were he/she, him/her, right? And I feel like a really simple step would be to just replace every pronouns with they, them, or their.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just because me personally, like all of us, in fact, we've all grown up thinking that people are only he and she. And that's why when people tell us that their pronouns are something else, we have a really difficult time grasping that. We're like, why do you want to be called something else? When it's really none of our business. All we're supposed to do is just respect them and move on from there.
Exactly.
So I feel like when it comes to all of this, it's really, really important to be educated and for that education to happen at a school level. So yeah, and with respect to what you asked about as a community, I mean, it's just going to be a safer space, right? It's going to be easier for people to come to terms with who they are. A lot of people, when because we all have so much internalized homophobia and internalized transphobia, when people want to confront their sexuality or their identity in general, they struggle a lot with it because they've always been told to fit into a box. And I feel like if a child at the age of, say, 7 or 8 has a teacher who's talking to him about all of this, when he grows up, he knows that it's okay for him to come out. He knows that it's okay for him to feel this way. He doesn't have to struggle with it. He doesn't have to let him affect it so much mentally. So I feel like all of these things, even though they may seem like really small things, like changing pronouns in a textbook, it may seem like a very small thing, but you don't know the ripple effect it's going to cause in the future.
Exactly.
So I think it's really, really important. Yeah. And as for a college level, I feel like, by the time that kids reach college, they sort of start consuming media that isn't limited to their school and limited to their education, limited to what their parents offer them. So I feel like with respect to college, even if it isn't mandatory to, educate them about the community itself, you can just sort of have activities and have sort of clubs that talk about the movement, sort of safe spaces where people can come and talk to other people from the community, and just have someone to talk to and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's very nice. Yeah, so I'd like to point out one thing that you said there to that is that we're brought up in such a way that we think it's wrong when some people says that, and we think it's different, and that's really wrong because, like you said, if they're taught at a small age that that's not different, that's actually how it should be, then that's how it should go. And instead of giving us that information, we've grown up in such a way that we feel that it's different, and that's why they're segmented separately in the society and the community.
Yeah,
that should have never happened first, and I think that's a very good point to say that if we educate them before that and they understand that point, then they won't be segmented from the community, as I said.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a very good answer. Thank you. I'd like to continue on to the second question. That is, what are kind of like the stigmas that surround the LGBTQI community, right? And some stigmas are wrong and some stigmas are right. But like, what do you think should be immediately removed if they're like really bad stigmas in that sense?
So first of all, I want to say that I feel like stigmas can't be good. I feel like stereotypes, stigmas, they can't be good.
Yeah.
It's not okay for you to fit even LGBTQ plus people into a box the same way you tried to fit kids into a box when they were younger. It's not okay for us to do that. But I feel like more than anything, I think some people just need to hear that LGBTQ plus people are also just people. Like you don't have to. When someone comes out to you, someone close to you comes out to you, you don't have to immediately say, "Oh, I can set you up with another gay friend of mine." Like that's just messed up. Like if someone. Would you randomly set up all your straight friends with your straight
exactly.
friends? Like this is the simplest example that I'm giving of a microaggression, but it starts there. It starts by unlearning all of these problematic behaviors that we brought up, that we've been brought up with. And I just think that if you feel like you identify with these stereotypes, and if you feel like they make up a part of your personality, that's great. But it's not okay to shame someone for fitting into these stereotypes and making it a part of their personality. If someone wants to be a loud gay person, let them be a loud gay person. If they want to be a quiet gay person, let them be a quiet gay person. Don't fit them into those boxes. Don't make them feel like they need to conform to what your standards of homosexuality are or what your standards of a trans person are. So yeah, I think that's basically it.
That's good. Yeah, I get that. So yeah, I'd like to go on to the last question now. So like now, obviously we know that we're in this big digital age, especially in this whole coronavirus period, where we use social media as a sense of like information transfer kind of thing, and everything goes through social media nowadays. So since like social media has been used so much, how do you think it actually helps in increasing the awareness about the community?
Okay, so when it comes to social media and the various platforms that it gives us, I feel like it's less about the platforms and more about who's able to use these platforms, right? So the thing with the internet is it can make you go viral if that's what you wanted to do, but it can also maintain your anonymity and like keep you off the grid if that's what you want to do. And I feel like this is where people can really use it. If someone wants to put forward their story, whether it's a happy story or it's a sad story, and they just want to be anonymous for it, they can do it. They can do it via so many different organizations on the internet that spread awareness every day, that bring forward stories every day. But at the same time, if someone wants to come forward with their story and they want the whole world to hear it and give them support, they can do that as well. I personally follow a lot of queer artists. I follow a lot of businesses, activists, all of these people. And one thing that I see in common is that we have all these queer activists bringing forward people from marginalized communities who are part of the LGBTQ plus community and giving them that platform so that they can, get funds, or they can talk about their struggles, or they can talk about how, different social aspects affect them every day for being a part of the community. So yeah, I feel like social media activism is it's creating huge waves. And like I was talking to you that day, what I saw, the pronouns thing that I saw it on Twitter. I have read so much discourse on Twitter at this point that every time I read something new, I feel even more educated. And I feel like that's amazing because gay people are not here to educate you. Trans people are not here to educate you. The internet exists for that, social media exists for that. Go out there, ask your questions. And I think that's why it's amazing that we have this digital age in front of us now, because you can get anything you want or anything or avoid everything that you don't want out of it,
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, I feel like another a thing that a lot of people need to understand, that it's really, really important to use this power of the internet to bring forward people who don't have this power of the internet.
Mm.
People who people who live in states where there's a shutdown, or people who just live in homes where they can't talk to anyone, or they don't have the internet.
Yeah,
Use your platform, use your contacts, bring their stories forward if that's what they want, like help them
yeah,
out. And you can do anything you want on the internet, dude.
yeah.
It's
I know.
literally a free world that we live in. And yeah, I think it's amazing that we've been given this power, and I feel like people just choose to not use it despite
Yeah,
being
that's
given
true.
it. A lot of
Sometimes.
people, like when I put up stories related to like feminism or the LGBTQ plus community or anything, I get people in my DMs telling me, "Are you an activist? Like, why are you doing this?"
Mm.
It's wrong to say that to people
I mean,
because it's their
yeah,
platform, right? They should be able to
exactly.
use it anyway.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think we really need to be okay with people just saying what they want on the internet, unless of course it hurts someone's sentiments, then it's not
yeah,
okay. But if people want to be who they are on the internet, we should let them be that, do that, be that.
exactly.
So yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah, I'd like to also take out one thing that you said there is that when people use social media, we have the option of whether to use it or not, right? And whether to actually support those people truly or not, because just stay back and do that. So first of all, one, I'd like to thank you for all those really answers. They were really nice and really informative. I think that's given all of us quite a lot to think about. So one thing that I'd like to take out from that is that the LGBT community grows till today, and it's going to keep growing. And so, like you said, it's our responsibility to support the community and support the people for who they truly are. They're not different, they're just people. So, supporting them when they come out is general. That's it. So,
Yeah.
I think that's something that we have to do. And I think that's the main takeaway from this.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah. So, thank you everyone for watching this edition of Humans of VIT. And that's it from our side. If you would like to get featured, you can contact us via Instagram or by email. And I guess good luck for the fats. And happy Pride. Yeah.
Happy Pride.
Yep.